What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Overachievers Gaming Podcast, the Marvel Strike Force Insider Edition. I am your host, Vash, joined as always by Ashley Pastrami and ChefCrondo. We're just flying right through it today.
Nailed it.
This week, I almost had it. Just I was going in one breath and trying to get it. This week, we have DismalContent. We almost had ChefCrondo on the podcast. We have DismalContent with us back with us again this week to talk more about the Fix MSF movement, where everything's going, all the new fun updates that's happened in the past 2 weeks. Dismal, thank you very much for coming in and being a part of our podcast yet again.
Yeah. It was a blast last time, so let's do it again.
Dismal, I gotta tell you, man, I'm a big fan of you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Dismal work. The button's pretty good.
Dismal, people can find you primarily on Discord, right? At the Pencil Hulk Removed Discord, I think is what it is. What we said last time, I don't remember.
Yep, and then we obviously have the Fix MSF Discord as well now. So I'm kind of in between both of those.
Cool. We'll link that below for everybody who wants to be a part of that and jump on and get more information direct from the source, because as always, it's better to get your news and information directly from sources as opposed to third-party content.
Fake news.
But anyway, you can find us on Instagram at og.podcast. Our Twitter is overachieversp. Our website is beingoverachiever.com, where you can get this episode and every other episode where we talk about video game, cat bods, dad bods, grumpy
cat bods.
I don't know where I was going with that. Grumpy mugs.
I feel like I got the beard for it almost. I got the facial expression.
Yeah, and all that fun stuff pertaining to Marvel Strike Force, video games, chef-related stuff, and
video games.
So, anyway, that's where we do. We also, outside of this podcast of talking about Marvel Strike Force, we also talk about video games in general, and that's where you can get that. So, if you like this podcast and you want to hear more just outside of Marvel Strike Force, which sometimes it can get a little overwhelming at times, you can just, hit that subscribe button, follow us on, YouTube, all that fun stuff. We put all this stuff there. And so anyway, let's get into it. What's happened in the past 2 weeks? I don't know, because I've been moving. So it's been great. I have no idea what's been going on.
Great accidental gold blitz, which was really funny.
I think there's this thing out like the Dark Dimension 3 or something like that. I heard about it. I wouldn't know anything about it personally.
Big ups. I want to give a big shout out to our Japanese whale homie who picked Hella.
Yeah.
You're the MVP, fam. You probably don't need her, but you still know that the rest of the community needs her.
I'm sure.
I legit someone saw on the Facebook group was asking for like Black Panther or something like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, bro. And then people are just like clowning on him.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, I guess. I mean,
Black Panther?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. I actually thought it was really funny because
someone asked for
defense,
Hulk.
He was a new character.
Wolverine?
But Wolverine, right? Yeah.
Someone asked for Hulk, like straight up.
I'm pretty sure the guy that picks all the blitzes is probably the same guy that posts that he wants Black Panther on the Facebook group.
Yeah, so let's have a character that's had multiple blitzes, multiple raids specifically for them, is also farmable in 2 nodes and all that fun stuff. That's great.
We had a worthless Electra login calendar. Now we have a less worthless Pyro calendar, which is actually really good for me, at least.
We got the Pyro or the Toad event going right now.
Toad event's happening, which I'm like 2 shards away from it.
Yeah, I actually kind of like Blob. Like his animations and his character model is kind of funny.
Wait, he's not. You can't get him yet, though, can you?
No, but you can use him in the campaign.
Oh, yes.
He's great. I really like his animations. He's done well.
I mean,
the only thing that bothers me is the game the team selection screen. I keep trolling about it because they like zoomed it way out, and I was like, hell yeah, Blob's gonna be huge. He's not really that tall. He's like the same height he's actually shorter than Juggernaut, I think.
Oh really?
But yeah, so I was messing with
he's
people about that.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, please.
Go.
You go.
Go.
No, go.
No, you go. You go. No, you go.
You're still talking relevance.
That's true. I was saying, like, I saw that when that happened, when that update came out. I was like, "Ooh, Blob's going to be a thick boy if he's popping up that big at the character screen."
Thick.
But probably not the case. So,
there was the accidental purple gear blitz that also happened at the same time.
Wait, that was accidental?
Yeah, that was also accidental. Yeah.
But they left it running.
They did.
They were, which was hilarious because everyone's like, you couldn't leave the gold blitz running, but of course you could leave a stupid
I was just thinking
running.
that. I'm like thinking to myself, wow, so they are so hell-bent on not letting us get a whoopsie with gold, but they'll let the purple raid gear slide.
They said that we'll get compensated for it, but whatever.
Yeah, okay.
I pulled $1 million out of. I did the milestones for the gold blitz because I knew it was a mistake.
Of course you
100%. I was on the game and someone said gold blitz in chat, and I picked my largest team and just autoed straight through until milestone 7, and I got a 1 million gold orb out of it.
Of course you did.
Rape. The best I ever got was right before I got Phoenix. I hit a 3 million gold orb.
Oh, that's great.
Which I'll never get anything ever again.
Oh, I got some important news this week.
Oh, please.
Our fellow companion, Ashley Pastrami, finally got his Ultron all set.
Finally, oh my god, it's true. I finally have Ultron.
So he's part of the Big Boys Club.
Literally taken a year, but here
you're now in the VIP club. How's it feel?
I don't have enough anything to get him up, so
welcome to everyone's.
Welcome to everybody's problem.
I haven't met
played Marvel Strike Force before.
Yeah, I haven't met like level 56 and T3s across the board, but
nice.
I just can't wait to actually. So since to derail real quick, since I've got a dope Phoenix and my Captain Marvel's at 6 red stars, my arena team is like pretty nice right now, but I still get hurt by other Ultrons. So I'm just really excited to have an Ultron on my team to then smoke everybody. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to climb the arena. I think I could do well with this Phoenix and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, you do Phoenix, Captain Marvel, Ultron, Sinister, and like Colossus,
like a Black Bolt or something like that.
The thing is, my Colossus is only 3 red star because they just gave us farmability of Colossus.
I mean,
it's still fine. It keeps when he procs the taunt on himself, it kind of comes at an inconvenient time for the enemy team when they're in their cycle of attacks. So it can kind of throw some people off if they don't have the right setup for it.
Well, I don't have Sinister. I don't have Sinister though, so I guess I'll toy around.
Oh, I don't have Sinister either, my friend.
Build. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, no, I just unlocked him, but it doesn't matter. I might as well not have him because I can't upgrade him. I might as well not have him. But
you will when you get your glorious compensation in like a week and a half. By the way, you want to know what happened to me this week? You remember how there was a rescue blitz like a week ago or something like that?
Sure.
Yeah, I never got my shards from it, and I sent a thing into customer support. And they were basically like, well, on our end, it shows that you have it or you received it. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. I scrolled back through my red emails or whatever, red messages, completely I never got it. And I sent it back to customer service. And they're like, glad that your ticket has been resolved. GFG, basically. I was like,
good game.
Okay. I mean, I guess rip my rescue shards, but, this glorious game that we play,
Speaking of right now, we have Captain America as Blitz, and then Star-Lord event is happening in like a day, I think on Monday. So by the time this episode is live, Star-Lord event will be out again.
And they ran the Tiny World thing, which I don't know about you guys, but I can't beat stage 7. And I'm like, I hate Wasp and I hate Ant-Man. So I'm just really stuck between a pimp and a hard place between trying to decide whether or not I want to. I'm not at this point. I'm gonna let it slide. Like I'm just gonna skip over the 250 orange mats. But they're
actually the Ant-Man can fit into what is that team? It's like a Brotherhood mix.
It's a personal thing, Ashy. I hate those units. I think they are dog shit
for sure.
And I mean, okay, the argument can be made that situationally, Wasp adds a lot to a certain team because she does have certain things about her kit that are good, but dude, I got to work on F4. I got to work on Cyclops. I got to work on Symbiote. I got to work on
too many things.
Yeah, it's just like way too much stuff to work on.
Well, that can lead us into a really good thing. We were looking at in our chat. We were talking about DD3 comps and stuff like that. Dismal, you were actually brought up because of your stuff. It was. What was your Colossus? That's your Colossus, right? 119K.
Yeah.
and it got destroyed before it could have a turn, right?
It is a reoccurring theme in Dark Dimension 3, where these monster units, 7 Red Star Colossus with everything you can do to him, and he does not make a single move. He just dies.
So I think that is kind of the perfect representation of kind of what's wrong with the game, right? Because I through all of this boycott, I've still been a fan of Casino. Casino's still a homie, but Casino said something that I do disagree with. He said, if you think that you don't have anything left to do or something, or you think there's not enough things to do, like we have all this stuff, you have to work up to it, keep grinding, building, blah, blah, blah. I'm obviously butchering what he said, which I don't agree. There's, especially for people like me, there's still a lot of things to do. The problem though is there's not an easy way. I shouldn't say easy. Nothing should be easy. There's not a reasonable path to get these things. And even someone like you or like other top tier players who have gotten top tier builds and comps and teams are still even having trouble. So it's like, where is there a middle point, or not even a middle point? Is there just a reasonability, like a reasonable place for us to be, that A, it's not so hard to get to that point, and B, if you are at that point, that you're not like wanting to kill yourself because it like your 119k Colossus can't even have a turn. You know,
I mean, like scaling content based on your character levels, that kind of crazy thing.
No,
we've talked about that a lot. That's just impossible, right? Not impossible. That's something that we'll never do.
Impossible. Yeah, no, that's impossible at this point because that'd take a complete redesign.
Sure. I mean, hell is, but like with that being said, is a complete redesign like maybe it's needed? I mean, we've seen this so many times in video games, right? We talked about this a bunch. Like, I mean, we're seeing it with Fallout, Anthem, Destiny 2 has done it like 2 times, like games that completely redo their entire foundation because they need to fix their game. And it's interesting that we say that it's impossible for Marvel Strike Force to do this because Marvel Strike Force probably makes more money than those other video games, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. They probably make 100% more money, honestly.
Because I mean, obviously with console games, you buy the game and then you buy DLC if it comes out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of money there, but Marvel Strike Force makes a butt ton of money every month. It's not just like the game sale and then when the DLC happens. So I mean, maybe it is the complete rework of the game in terms of something like that. Like, is that something that would that be welcome? Do you think? Like, would you guys want? I mean, I would want that personally, being someone who's at 2.9 mil TCP. Like, I would love scalable content. I would love it.
As someone that dreads logging into the game every day, I would completely agree with you. And I don't say that to like, throw it out there to people that I don't like the game. It's just that at I'm just under 4.6 mil and I'm not a spender. So, okay. Casino, for what he said, my question is, what am I supposed to do? Like, literally, what do I do? I genuinely don't know what to do in the game anymore. I do my U7 stuff. I do my blitz. I do my milestone and chill. I do my war hits. I don't have a single G14 character. Not a single one. And I refresh the shop.
I don't have anything near a G14.
I mean, I do. I have people with like 2 or 3 items, but bro, that's 2 or 3 items.
And
like, I'm not even close.
Right. And I think that's the point of the entire fix Marvel Strike Force. It's not that we can't do things, because there's something for all of us to do. Even Dismal, like even at his tier, there's something still for us to do. Like Dismal still needs to do DD3. Mm-hmm. There's something for all of us to do. Yeah. But there is still no reason. There's no
drive. I have 0 drive to do anything. Well, like, what am I doing? Like,
I still like the game. I'm not like,
sure,
I don't want to rain on your raining parade.
No. It's different. It's that, but that actually, that actually sells the point that both of us are making, because you and I are at different points of the game. You're still at the point where there are things for you to do. However, I literally have one thing to look forward to, and that is DD3. And I seriously, like, I will not see that in 2020. And
that's what I'm saying.
March,
I won't see it. there needs to be more reasonable ways to do the things in the game, right? And I think that's the biggest. I think that's honestly the overall like too long didn't read of fix this whole game.
Yeah,
Is just make this game worth the play and make it so that we could actually feel like we're being rewarded, right?
Okay, I want Dismal to weigh on this, but like I feel like, because I mean he's obviously way more experienced, the most experienced player in this room right now, but I feel like I have two options. Okay, option one is I spend a bunch of money to buy G14 mats so that I can enter Fear of the Darkness 3, right, or Dark Dimension 3, whatever it is, right? Now option number two is the argument can be made that I need to climb the arena rankings so that I can get a ton of cores every day, so that I can refresh the shop, spend all my money refreshing, or spend all my cores refreshing, so that I can get G14 mats to go in there. However, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all that I am in a arena shard with nothing but like very high level players, and I know that they have an arena shard thing. So if I enter the top 20, instantaneously I'm knocked out. If I drop 500 cores trying to get into the top 20 around the time my payout ends, I can 100% tell you that will not work. So I therefore have zero ways of gaining any progress in this game, and it sucks because there are plenty of other games that I could play that do give me that opportunity, and I don't want to play other games. I want to play Marvel Strike Force because I've invested a lot of time in this game. I love doing this podcast with you guys. But like Dismal, do you even see am I wrong on those points? Like, are there other options for me, you think?
Well, here's the thing. So
even
if you go in and try to buy G14, you still can't buy it. It is still so bottlenecked that it's literally, you can't even buy your way in if you want. I mean, yes, you can. The guy obviously bought his way in.
Yeah, but he spent.
He spent $100,000
at least, right? I mean,
so that's honestly, I don't think that's reasonable.
I'm thinking it's more than 100K.
Bro, if anybody on Fox Next dev team can look me in the face or look anybody in the face and say that it's reasonable to spend $100,000 on a mother effing video game, needs to get slapped in the face. Dom, you got man. I would back you up on laying down some jujitsu on this bitch because that is scumbag level stuff. Sorry, right. But like.
That's always been my biggest thing is that I feel like the game is predatory.
It's
funny because I stopped spending before.
You're trying real hard. You're hard.
You're doing good. I decided to stop spending when Black Bolt happened, which was I think a little bit before the official.
I can't even start working on it, homie. I got 2-star Sif and Hella.
Same. Yeah, how am
I even supposed? He's been out for what 3-4 months now. I can't even think about it.
It's true, but I just think that the game is just too predatory, right? And that's I just want that. I want that to just be changed, right? So that leads me to a good point. Is just how do you feel as like one of the top dogs in the movement? How do you feel the boy fix MSF I guess movement is going still? It's been like what are we looking at this point? How many months has it been? Like 2, 1?
It's been 2 months.
2 months, right?
Yeah. So I mean, overall, they're always going to be slow. I think that's just their MO at this point. The one thing that they did change kind of immediately is communication, which is a huge problem and always has been.
Yes.
So I appreciate that. I am trying.
100%.
I try a lot to focus on the positives because I feel like a lot of people that are doing the boycott are too negative sometimes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So dude. It's good, I think, to do credit where credit's due. Like Cerebro and Zeke's have actively been posting updates, and even the gold blitz and purple blitz and all that stuff, they were at least addressed. Whether they addressed them the way that all of us want, they addressed them, and that's the big point. We can talk about what they should have done or shouldn't have done, but at least they were there saying after an hour they're like, oh, the gold blitz was a mistake, we pulled it, whatever. Yeah. So there's years past where they literally just wouldn't have said anything. They would have pulled it, and Reddit would have been on fire for 3 days. And people are complaining about this week's blog because they're like, oh, this is nothing new. You told us the same things over and over. But I actually kind of think that's good, because the reason that we've heard the stuff before is because they told us before the blog. We wouldn't have heard any of the 7 red star lists from DD3 before had Cerebro not posted it in Discord, probably 4 days before the blog, which is when they, I assume, intended on releasing it. So
Right.
I appreciate stuff like that. That's I think the major one is, I think, and it kind of even goes back and forth now, which is still frustrating. Like, one blog will be amazing and we'll have a bunch of dates and it'll say, Colossus is going to be farmable. Here's when Namor's coming to the store, and the exact dates.
Right.
And then, the next one is like, guess what? We had a Purple Blitz this week, and the Toad event's live. It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
So I just wish they could keep on the path of just giving people an idea of what's coming, when it's coming, because then people can actually plan on stuff.
And I think that's very important. Like actual calendar of events, I think would honestly fix so many things. And and we said it before, which sucks, but panic spending is a thing, right? And that's why they're hesitant to give out calendar stuff. But also, I think that we have to remind ourselves that this is more for the Reddit people. I don't know if any of them watch or listen. They're probably too hateful to do that. But the community managers aren't CMOs, CTOs. They're not head of marketing.
Literally about to say that.
They're just a couple dudes that are the middleman for the higher ups to say, hey, go tell them this stuff and take out this or add this or whatever. You know what I mean? So like those dudes are just trying to do probably the hardest job in this game, realistically, to give us information and for us to like shit and like spit in their face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's no different than when you have problems with your internet and you call this, Comcast and it's a customer service representative and like you're yelling at them because your service sucks and all I can do is sit there and take it because they can't. All I can do is try to help you and try to move you along to whatever it is. But like yelling at them gets nothing accomplished except for just making yourself feel better and making them feel shit.
Right. Well, okay, boomer. That's what you tell your
I'm
dad.
just kidding. I'm kidding. But I mean, seriously, like, some people, I think they just get the joy out of like calling up customer service and just crapping on people.
Well, they just don't. They think that that's the way to go, and that's not the way to go.
Same thing could be said for what's going on there. Like the people, sometimes they're just miserable, and that they even though Fox Next is coming through and giving a little bit of better communication, they're just like some of those people that are just never happy, no matter what.
Yeah, well, you pay $80 a month and your internet doesn't work. It's the same thing as if you pay $1,000 a month and the game doesn't work. So.
True.
That's true.
Probably even worse because when you have more skin in the game, you're more inclined to feel a little bit of a stronger emotions. We'll say.
Well, so we have some better communication. It seems like they are being a little more upfront with some events and calendar stuff. Is there any like end in sight for the Fix MSF movement at this point, Diz? Or are you still feeling? Is it still like full steam ahead? We're still not. This is not enough. We don't have we haven't gotten the answers we wanted yet. How do you feel there?
I think so. The problem being is that we have a history with Fox Next. We have a history with this game, and words for us no longer are good enough.
True.
And so, had a lot of this communication been happening a year ago, I think it probably would be over. Like they would have said, we're going to rework Red Stars. We hear you, like they could half address some stuff just in the blog and then everyone would be satiated and shut up and move on. The problem is they did that. They've done it too much. Like they need to like fix the stuff as opposed to say they're going to fix it. So I don't think we can stop until they have overwhelmed us enough with whatever it is that they want to do. Like we're not demanding anything specific, but they need to show that they're not just full of it anymore. They need to like seriously do some stuff. They need to rework some rewards and I can't tell you the specific thing that's going to end it because I have no idea.
Exactly.
It needs to be more than words on paper, and words on paper are great. Like I said, I think the communication is very solid, but it's way beyond that point where you can just say, "Oh, we're going to fix Red Stars in April," and we go, "Okay, cool," and then we move on.
Speaking of red stars, there was a rumor going around that in DD3 the red star orb was going to contain Ultron as a red star grab.
Oh my goodness!
How bad would that have been?
Can you imagine?
Oh my god, did I just burp?
Yes.
Yes,
I thought I muted my
dork.
mic. Dang it! Oh, I muted the wrong thing. I'm sorry,
You're such a
Charlie.
ding
Can
dong.
you? Oh,
No, that's
No,
gonna be,
no, that's staying in.
whenever somebody subscribes to my channel now on Twitch, that's what's going to be. Because I'm going to make this a thing now. I'm going to record the time. So 25 minutes in, they're going to do the burp. Because
I've done so good not to curse, and then I. Oh. God.
You know that, like, because of your thing with the MSF Till I Die on the last podcast, like, everybody loved it so much, I turned that into one of my sound bites for when people subscribe to my or when they follow me on Twitch. Yeah, you know that, right?
Yeah, the embarrassment is so real right now.
It's great. So now, whenever I get, I don't know, I'll figure something out. Maybe it's like
I thought I muted myself because I was going to type a response to this guy. I don't know, man. I got too many windows open.
Just Crondo burp.
God damn it. Yeah, so oh yes, Red Star Ultron.
That's gonna sound so funny on the podcast, like this out of context. It's like somebody's talking and then just a burp and then everybody stops. Like
to talk about the burp. This is what happens though.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys.
No, you're perfect. Never change.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah,
exactly why we can't have nice things.
That's exactly why we can't get sponsorships from real companies. I burp live and drop F-bombs.
I'll take it. You know. God, what was I?
I'm sorry.
Ultron Red Stars. The thing.
So, that was when it was supposed to be player selected for the players that were in the orb as well. So it was going to be 6 Red Star, and they were going to have basically Tadano Mac would have picked all the characters that were in the 6 Red Star orb, and then also Ultron would have been in there. Just imagine if you spent Crondo, imagine 1 year of farming orange gear and then the misery of DD3 every day, and then you beat it and you get Nobu. And then your friend gets Ultron.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine that.
Oh my god.
No, see, because I can already tell you that I'd get Kingpin. Like, I already know it.
I already have. Yeah. Well, he's not. Luckily, he's not in that orb. Speaking of that, they released the characters of who's in that orb. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up real quick as we talk.
Wait, what do you mean? I guess I'm a little confused. Yeah, what are you guys talking about? The characters in that orb? It's not just all characters except for Ultron.
No, that's 24 characters that they said are in the orb. So essentially, like whenever you beat DD3, essentially is like you have an orb that you can open that contains one character that'll automatically get promoted to 7 Red Stars, and those characters are Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, Coulson, Mr. Sinister, Magneto, Minerva, Nick Fury, Phoenix, Shuri, Thanos, Invisible Woman, Ghost Rider, Star Lord, Colossus, Juggernaut, Hela, Thor, War Machine, Scientist Supreme, Rescue, Falcon, Graviton, Rocket Raccoon, and Yo-Yo. So those are the characters that you can pull out of that 7-star Valiant orb. Essentially, is what happens when you beat it for the first time. Is it the first time or is it the second time? I don't remember which one it is. I think it's the first time, right?
You get, I think, half. You get half when you beat it the first time, and half when you beat it the second time.
When you do the timed run, okay. So
7-star Red Rocket.
Yeah. Imagine pulling Rescue as your 7 Red Star.
The problem with a majority of the orbs in the game, and they continue to do this, is they over dilute the rewards. Like, take half of those and everyone would be freaking out about how awesome it is.
Yeah.
Just take half.
You're right, man. Why? They just like don't do a very good job of hyping things up. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
There are a lot of characters on that list that are really good picks.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
And there's maybe a handful that are terrible. Like,
I would say
the terrible ones.
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably Scientist Supreme and Rescue are the 2 that are not great.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be happy about Yo-Yo either, but
I mean, she would be good for having a shit ton of focus, you know.
Well, yeah, true.
That's pretty much it. So
Hey, at least Wolverine isn't in the orb.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's
But
good,
like
good
That's
call
also
there.
true.
Good call.
yeah, so probably with Science Supreme, Rescue, and Yo-Yo, probably like the three that you probably don't want, with everything else being pretty good, I would say.
It's
No,
also, I mean, there's also ones that they could have put in there that they didn't. You know, like put Cyclops in instead of Rescue.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
But at least they'll, like, if you have any of these characters at 7 red stars and you pull it, you're not just going to get dupes. Like, you get the opportunity to pull it again and have a second chance to get Rescue.
Wouldn't that be funny if you like actually, if that actually happened, where you open your
Funny?
7 red
No.
star,
Okay,
got a duplicate, open it again, got a duplicate, open it again, got a duplicate, just kept getting duplicates like over and over.
Hey, T-Stamp27 said, I mean, it's not really Foxnet's fault for that list, though. What does he mean? Did someone else make that list?
No. Fox Next make the list. It was originally supposed to be player selected, but they changed it, and it is Fox Next selected.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Yeah. Unlike
Dang.
the orb draft that we did for the first completion of Ultimate 7 back in the day, like almost 6 months ago. How long ago was that? 8 months? A
I don't
year?
remember.
Those
Remember
were pretty
how long
good
ago
too, where they had the Legion of Cabal and the Pants of Hulk orbs.
Those were the best. Those were the
those
one
were
of the
good.
best. That was the best.
I got
They-
a lot of really good stuff out of those.
Yeah.
The problem with those is the exact same thing, though. They made us pick 6 too many. And so there's a couple ones where like, okay, well, we don't have any. It's a lack of a better option. Who are we going to pick? Okay, put Hand Assassin in. Like, so
Yeah.
then everyone gets Hand Assassin instead of Minerva. Like, just make it 10 characters or whatever.
No,
I
the
bet,
Japan guy
like,
did not make that list.
looking back on it, and originally when it released, everyone was like super excited and everyone was like very competitive about who was going to win. And I was like, dude, message Fate's Fury right now and tell him one of us is taking a dive and one of us is picking the worst orb possible, and the other person should just pick all the good ones, and we should just concede the thing. Just imagine if those 2 orbs were merged into one orb and we didn't have the trash characters. It's just like they played out the competition to give out worse rewards, which is like
Interesting.
so frustrating, you know? And
Yeah,
there's too
how do you
much
not concede
ego
that?
there for I think us at the time to put it aside and be like, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't play the game.
Right.
You know?
That's another.
I think
That's
if
another
that happened
thing.
today, Fates and I would both be like, "All right, this is bullshit. We're gonna." Oh, sorry. This
That's fine.
is BS.
Oh no,
No,
you're
it's
fine.
okay.
Dude, you're fine. I'm the one that's not allowed to drop that bomb.
Shit's okay. We're trying to be a little more conscious about saying the F word so much, only because we've had some people that like. Well, it's really funny. He DM'd me like, "Oh, I drive my kid to work, and I listen to your podcast, and I would like it to just not." It makes sense, you know. I will say one of the best things I think that's come out of the Fix MSF movement is, you know, we've already had outside of Reddit a pretty good community, and it's funny because every single guest we've had on the last like 10 guests have said that the community is their favorite aspect of the game.
What's your favorite aspect of the game?
Exactly.
I think I already said community.
You have said it. But I think it's wonderful that it really has, I feel like, brought a lot of more people together even more, especially looking at, you know, like obviously like you two, like Pants of Hulk and Legion of Cabal, like, dude, you like you and Fates seem like it's pretty chill, like the level of communication between the 2 biggest alliances in the game. I think that's like honestly one of the most wild things about this whole movement is just bringing together the 2 top dogs to actually like converse in a chill manner, because I feel like it's always been you two like really were gunning it. Like, I mean, it makes sense when you have a competitive game in some aspects, the two biggest players or teams rather are gonna gun, right? But it's been really cool to see a level of like camaraderie sprout out of this, you know.
I think it just goes to show you the intent of what we're trying to do is not like, you know, it's not to make our accounts better. It's not like any of that. It's not to make Cabal be able to beat everyone in war, you know, like whatever it is. The intent is to make the game fun so that we can play and we can be competitive. Like,
totally. That's how you mute your mic, by the way, Chef.
Dude, that was much, it looked much more violent than my burp.
Yeah, I'm you know, coronavirus. I'm dying.
You're pro. I'm just a scrub.
No, you're great. Don't ever change.
You're dying.
Yeah.
Please don't say that.
No, I don't have
We like to
coronavirus.
keep you around.
Yeah, the CDC is gonna show up at your house with ice.
Well, it's funny because I didn't know that the coronavirus was a respiratory infection, and I went to urgent care. She goes, "Oh, you have a minor respiratory infection." I got home, and I was like, "Mallory, I'm a little sick, but it's just a respiratory infection, no big deal." She's like, "You know that coronavirus is a respiratory infection?" And I was like, "What? No."
You'll be fine.
Continue.
I'm sorry that we're laughing at your
Caption Don dying right now in the background.
Yeah, sorry, we're laughing at your misfortune, but it's funny.
It's literally the story of my life.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what were we talking about before? I was just laughing at Dom.
Talk about
Yeah,
camaraderie. I was after.
Community.
Yeah.
Community, yes. Dismal's favorite thing about the game. First time he's ever told us this.
Same with everyone else.
Laughing at people for burping and coughing, I think, is one of my favorite things.
Right. Exactly.
This will just be the title of the episode. Burps and coughs.
How far are you actually in the GD3 at this point?
Oh, I just got through the worst thing I've ever experienced in video gaming, which is the America Chavez node.
Is that when it's
why?
terrible?
Okay, so have you guys watched anyone play through this?
No, I don't want to be honest.
Oh my god, it is literally the worst. It
doesn't look entertaining to me at all.
It is not engaging. It's not challenging. It's just
stupid.
So the America Chavez node has a total of 12 Miss Marvels.
Oh, is that the one you took the video of with your Colossus?
Yeah, that's the node.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, it's an America Chavez node, but they're like, yeah, you know what we should do? We should drop in 112K Miss Marvels or whatever.
Did I notice that like everybody that's in there is a brawler too?
And the whole it's waves of 12 that drop that are all hero brawlers.
Dude, how did you even get past that? How do you get past that?
The only way you can get past it, which is what everyone is currently doing now, is just bring in Phoenix and you let her die, and then you use your special when Dark Phoenix spawns, and then you die, and then you just do it again. Like that's
quality content.
That is what the overwhelming strategy of Dark Dimension 3 is. Like you just take in a character so that you can die.
Bash, somebody just came in here and goes, "I'm here because I saw the MMA tag."
Why is there an MMA tag? Why is there an Did you put that because of me?
I put that in there
you off.
Yeah.
Well, no, this poor dude, Facility BJJ.
That's so good.
Listen to our nerd ass podcast. Clearly, you trained.
Hey, I said it earlier that I wanted you to lay some jujitsu down on somebody. So I mean, that
actually is accurate.
Yeah,
well, Don does jujitsu, so that's why I put it in there because I thought it would be
funny.
Entertaining.
I'm just getting trolled from every level today.
I can't believe that actually people. That's the thing. That's like, do people actually look at the tags on Twitch? Because
I guess
clearly, Homeboy just came through. I've had that happen before.
Great,
that's sick,
awesome.
Man. I'm sorry not to get off topic, but that is hilarious.
I'm going down the MMA tag now. I'm so curious.
I mean, fortunately, when he came in, we were talking about brawlers. So
true.
It was relevant, I think.
True.
That is true. Yes, amazing.
I'm just gonna talk to this dude. Type it out. We'll continue the conversation though.
Anyway, yeah. So that does not sound like something fun or like any way that like kind of makes any sort of. And there's also 42 characters in that node too. Like
42. What is
and
this?
How many nodes is this into the actual?
It's the third node.
That's the third node.
You can tell because if you go into the leaderboard, there's I think 29 people that have gotten through that node, and then everyone else. It's 12% is
that's the node. Guys.
So if you go into the leaderboard, it's like. There's a couple people at like in the 60s, one in the 50s, a couple in the 40s. Most everyone else is at 18, which is right past the America Chavez node. And then like 150 are stuck at 12%. So they're just like going in, getting destroyed before they make an attack.
What's that 62? Because there's a couple homies at 62.
I don't think there's like a specific. I think they just started at the same time.
Right.
So,
are you the furthest in Pants of Hulk?
I am not.
No, it looks like your boy Inep. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, good.
Inep?
No.
Inep,
Bulldog, and
I think
somebody else.
Looks like you better be cracking, Dismal.
Spanky
Can't let your own boys throw you up.
Those three are pretty far.
I think
They're in the
the
40s,
thing
50s.
is if any of your boys are up there, it's a win for the whole squad, right?
Of course, yeah.
You know?
I mean, just based on what G14 does in War, it like has completely changed the map. Because there's like teams that you just look at and they have one person at G14 and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be awful.
Yeah, I've had that happen with BKT. BKT has resurfaced as one of my most hated teams now in War. I faced a G14 Minerva, a full. Actually, I think BKT was a full. Minerva was G14, Thanos was G14, and Rocket was G14, and it was I can normally punch up with my Boom Hood like a good 100 to 150k, no problem. I got wiped. Boom Hood is Magneto, Pyro, Juggernaut, Kingpin, and Crossbones.
Oh, interesting.
And the way that
Wait,
squad
that's like a
works,
top tier squad?
Yes, because what happens, it's specifically designed, well, I say designed, but it's like it specifically counters BKT because Kingpin, his ultimate goes right before the Rocket ult. So essentially you get defense up and offense up right as Rocket does his ultimate. So it does half damage to your entire team. So your entire team can then survive. And then you can use Pyro, if you save Pyro's special for turn 2 and use his basic turn 1, his bleed, if you have his bleed maxed out, will do double damage for 2 turns because he's got the offense up, and everyone's got offense up. And Crossbones got ultimates offense up, and then you have Magneto who can then just strip any buffs off of Thanos for his taunt, or Groot for his taunt. It works really, really well. And then after that, a Juggernaut will go with his ultimate with his charge with offense up. So everybody's got their big hitting attacks just goes, and you can completely clear out BKT like very easily, but Tier 14, the resistance and the armor and the defense up is ridiculous. I cannot get anything to stick on any of those characters. And it's like you said, in War, it's just it's unfortunate that this is a thing, but luckily we haven't really faced many characters with G14 in ours, because I switched from the MCU since we last talked Dismal. I'm now in OG Alpha Flight with Trash Panda.
Yep.
So
I didn't know you were in that.
Yeah, I left the MC about 3 weeks ago or so, or MCU. It was just kind of getting. I switched over to the MCU Avengers, and I was just not happy over there. It was just like,
sure.
I mean, I'm pretty at this point just because everything's going on. Like, I'm not casual, but I'm not as hardcore as I was.
For your level, you're casual, right?
Yeah, for my level, I'm casual. But if I can complete nodes and do all these sort of things, like with my schedule and my time, and like how little time I have to play, that should be the bare minimum. Like, I shouldn't have to I should not be getting top attacks and getting MVPs in War and all that sort of stuff, and also getting top in raids. Like, I should not be the one. So that's why I had to leave that.
Yeah,
slot.
Sure, fair.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so tier 14 in War is just insane. Like, I understand where it's going, and that's where all the top teams, all the top defenses are going to go there, and it's fine. But it's just going to make them more frustrating, and that's not the reason why I want to play the game, is to be frustrated. I actually enjoy those times where I'm able to find a workaround with these characters and these classes that can do well against these tunes. But then if you have 30% more resistance for just going from tier 13 to tier 14, and it negates all of your characters, like, what's the point?
It's also so far off of what you have come to expect at this point that the power increase is not accurate compared to the stat increase versus every other gear that's happened the first 13 gears. So yeah, like you said, their resistance is through the roof, but you have no idea. And no one has learned how to play against that yet. It's crazy. And it's also exponentiated by Fox Next screwing up and then having to give everyone 6 red stars, because everyone that has gear 14 also has them 6 red star. So
so frustrating.
You go against G14 Hella with 6 red stars. I have a 455,000 power level Fantastic Four, and she one shot 3 of my people with her ultimate before I even moved. And it was just like, oh, what is this? So,
wow, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's fun. Which have you tried I'm sure you have. Have you tried the D4 with Drax instead of Thing?
Yeah, that's what we use. I use
Yeah.
like almost exclusively, but
Yeah.
it's almost
really?
worse when you have like when Hella is crazy, because then you guarantee that everyone gets defense down.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she's got to focus, she has to focus Drax. So Loki focused Drax, he's got defense down, and then Hella just spreads it to everybody. So I don't know.
But
It's very situational, but I pretty much use it across the board. But yeah, now anything gold around Hella, I just run and cry in a corner instead of fighting it.
Just
I'm
like,
gonna let someone else take the loss on that one. Good luck, guys.
yeah, or you can two tap.
Spoken like a true leader.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
handle my light work, guys.
Just going for the just sit in the corner, infant style, and just go. And you're like, okay, I'm done. I can't do it. Fetus position, you'll be fine. Anyway, so that was yeah. So anything else you want to say about the Fix MSF movement before we move on to a different topic?
No, I think overall we just need to get to a place where this content is coming fast enough that they don't need to overtune it to make it so challenging that it's impossible to get through. Like, I'm fine with having end game content, but it should be doable. And the problem is that, like, especially you look at the challenges, it's like the reason they're so hard is because it takes a year for them to put the next tier up. Like, they don't have to be this hard. Like, if you just did a challenge every 2 months, you could make it progressively harder and make it challenging but engaging. And it's just kind of frustrating, like, they need to get to a point where they can crank it out. And right now is not that point, because I think we prompted a lot of movement, and I think they actually have started working on a lot of stuff, but it's just it was so far behind that they are in a rough spot where they now have to, they have to not only push out the challenges, push out the campaign. They're still adding actual content. They're still adding like the Toad thing and all that stuff, but they're also reworking Red Stars. They're also looking at the shelling stuff. Like, it's just too much. They've got to a point where they're so far behind that it's hard to catch up. So hopefully we get to a point where they can catch up, and then they can try to keep it moving. That would be good.
Right.
So I've got a question for you. Back when we started this conversation, you said that they're slow to work on things. And I'm just curious, we all have our own assumptions as to why. Like, personally, I think it's because they're done with Q1, and I think they exhausted their schedule. And I think that they're trying to like recoup and figure out where they're going to go from here. But I'm just curious what your take on that is.
So basically, after war, the game developers that they were working with, that they contracted, do not work on
they contracted people to finish the war for them.
They contracted people to build the original game, which also included Alliance War. So a majority of the original content up to and including Alliance War was the original contracted developers. When those people left, right? Yes, exactly. When those people left, they clearly have had a very hard time keeping up. So
100%.
I think their developers are really good at making characters. Their art team is great, and so that's what they lean on, because that's probably the easiest thing for them to do. But it shows in the process of the game. Like, it should not take a year for them to put up 2 challenges. Like, those in my head, as someone who has done very light coding work for a couple of years, like those shouldn't take longer than 2 weeks.
That should take somebody a day. Honest to God, right. The code is already there. All you're doing is you're extending the values of each piece of code. Like, that's a poor excuse. I mean, not from your end. I'm saying if they were to use
it's a poor excuse, Dismal. What the hell, man?
So I feel like the new content, like new game modes, I can totally understand why they would take time, and I try to be sensitive to it, because I think we can be a little demanding. But I just feel like it shouldn't take as long as it does to basically add new versions of existing content. But the reason it does is because they weren't the ones that coded it to begin with, so I think that's a big part of it, is like their developers are good at what they're good at, and they're not necessarily good at the other aspects. So they gotta figure that out.
True.
You mean in that $190 million they brought in, they can't hire a couple people to, do this shit? Honestly,
I mean, they totally could, right? Like, like Ashley
dude,
was saying,
you guys alone pay for another 2 developers. Honest to God, like, and anything they want to say is a 100% BS excuse. Like, it's in today's day and age where like programming and coding is becoming really popular. There are tons of people that are coming out of schools. They're hungry to do this stuff. You could.
I say we just make our own game. Let's just do it ourselves.
Bro, I'm not far off from doing that, man.
The OG podcast 5v5, or we can make it 6v6 or 4v4, and just go for it. We can do it.
There's somebody in Pants of Hulk that did that exact same thing. Actually, he's German and he owns a company that designs mobile games now.
Really, I've always thought about toying in that, but I never really got around to it because it's so time consuming.
Can I tell you something? Mobile games, to make them is so much easier than a regular game. Like, so much easier.
Yeah.
So,
but none of us are doing that shit.
I mean, I've made a mobile game before, but it's like a tutorial that you do on Udemy or something like that. But there, most of it is having the assets and the artwork. That's actually, in my opinion, which is ironic in a sense, because from somebody that does code for a living, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I could step in and do anything, because that's definitely not true. That's talking out my ass. But it's easier to do what Dismal highlighted as what they're good at doing, like character creation and artwork is super duper easy by comparison to like setting up the logic and programming of, the computing of numbers, making sure that the, war isn't, dipping into making the U7 raids harder, or that Stark Tech isn't lapping over and making DD2 harder. Like, those are actual problems that take like, brains and things like that. But making characters is like, you could get a freaking student to do that for you. So like, I what do they do? Like, really, what do these guys do? Honestly, but
yeah, and also we don't know, like, in furthering that, we don't know what's going on above them too, like outside of Foxnex, with Scopely now, and then 100%. Other things in regards to like what's happening with, whatever the licensing is and their requirements.
Yeah, that's true.
They could have something that happens with they have to have a certain amount of things or hit certain numbers or do certain stuff by certain target dates and so on and so forth. But like I said, it's a lot to consider, and it's easy for us to be like pointing fingers and be like, fix it, do this. But like within reason, I think is reasonable to request. Right. But also at the same time, it's just like, this is your income. This is the way you make your money. You're not saving lives. You're making a mobile game that steals money from people.
They're saving their CEO's life, Charlie. He needs all of this money. Okay.
I don't know, man.
How dare you?
I hate to keep I feel like every week I keep bringing up Contest of Champions, but to be honest with you, I have started playing it more because of like the fact that I'm annoyed with MSF, the fact that there's nothing to do.
Playing something else also.
Contest like actually is a very skill driven game. I mean, of course there's luck involved, but it's a fighting game. So
wait, what are you playing?
Huh?
Charlie, what do you whispered under his breath? I've been playing something too.
Yeah, Black Desert Online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I just want to say that now people could argue that Kabam doesn't really listen to their community. Sure, they make like weird mistakes and things, or they make weird decisions, but the fact still remains that Kabam on a monthly basis adds new content to their game, literally every month. And that's not even like new game modes or new challenges or things like that. Once a month, they run an event quest, and it's different every single month. So like they act, and the game's been around for 5 years, and they still have a massive player base, right? Sure. And so the thing that I find ironic is that some of the people that worked for Kabam currently work on this game. And I don't know where like it got lost in translation that like you need to.
Well, I mean, I think you need to just take a step back, because just because those people that are working on it doesn't mean they're decision makers, right?
Yeah,
and that's the hard thing with all of this is that, like, there's probably some very talented people at Fox. I mean, clearly they are. Like, there's a lot of problems with this game, but it's still, for like all intents and purposes, it is a functional game, except for when it's not, for when it's not functional. But like, you could be the best programmer in the world, but if you have like a program manager above you who's like, all right, slim that down a little bit or something.
No, you're right.
And that's something that we have to remember is
the
decision makers are often the ones that are they're the ones bottlenecking us. They're the ones that want to see the money coming in because of revenue and all that stuff. So the developer just
Very fair point.
they just want to make the game, right?
Yeah.
The developer
want-
just wants to make the game.
Yeah,
if you want to see a
very
good
true.
a good representation of that, it's actually, if you don't know if you guys have seen that new Apple TV show Mythic Quest. It's based around about an MMO developer and whatnot. It's actually really funny. I highly recommend it. It's from Rob from It's Always Sunny, guy who plays Mac. He's the lead in that. It's
Nice.
They joke about, like, some of their things is they joke about, like, how there's one guy who's just the money and he's just putting things on there to, like, suck the life out of everybody and suck. But it's like, it's kind of, it's funny because you're like, aha, that's funny. But then, like, if you play games like this, you realize quickly, like, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's real.
So, but anyway, moving on because I got to get going soon-ish. Anyway, what's coming up that you guys are looking forward to in the game itself?
I'm about to get like 6-star on my Star-Lord, which is nice. I mean, y'all probably already have that, if not 7 stars, but I'm about to get that 6-star, which is big for me.
That's great.
Oh, I got a 6 red star Iron Fist this last week.
Huzzah! You might be able to actually do something at the Gold Orb challenge. Maybe not.
I could beat the second to last one.
I can't even.
I could beat it. I didn't say I could 3-star it.
I can't even do that. So,
and I actually have a super beefy Defenders team. I have 4 red stars on all of them. Punisher has 5 red stars. JJ has 5 red stars. Iron Fist has 6 red stars. They're all Chi 13, and I can't even touch the final node. I can't even scratch it, dude.
I mean, you don't have a 7 red star a Ghost Rider that can easily one-shot everything? You don't have
right. Let me just get 7 red stars on my Luke Cage. Maybe that'll answer all my problems.
You just need the Ghost Rider that's in the ability enhancements, the T12 one.
Dude.
The God Ghost Rider that drops at the end and just one-shots like everybody. You just need one of those.
Just need one of those. You need the level 78 6 red star characters that are in the game.
Great. Oh yeah. Oh, I want to. Well, we'll get to the end to talk about what Viper Venom just said, but this is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, we'll get to the Q&As and all that stuff in a bit.
Yeah.
Ash, so you're Dismal. What are you looking forward to?
I am 170 superior basic catalysts away from G14ing Hella, which will give me a 5th actual character, not Shield Trooper, for DD3. But mostly like I just want to fuck people up in war. Like that's it.
Yeah. that I think is interesting. I'm probably way far away from getting Hella G14. She's on my list of things to do. I have 2 out of 6 for her, but I am completely out of the superior sigils, and I do not have any of them whatsoever. And I feel like it's gonna be forever far for me to get to that point. But I'm looking forward to.
It only takes 2 weeks of Platinum 2 War credits to get 300 SPCs from the War Store. So if you want to take a full season of 5-in-1 season in Plat 2, you can make 1 gear 14 piece with basic catalyst. So
that's,
hell yeah.
We only got to. So you mean you'll let me come in, Panzer Hawk, and ride the coattails for a bit?
Ooh.
1 piece. I like
just
it.
to get
right.
1 gear piece and then
one out of 6. I'm getting close to having Black Bolt tier 14. He is 5 lobotomy shards away from getting that gear. And by the lobotomy ones, I mean that's the one with the skull and the whatever the hell that thing's called, the superior molecular scans.
Is that a brain?
No, it's just it looks like someone who's getting a lobotomy because it's got.
I have 132 of those. Do you want them?
Yes, please. That'd be great if you could trade them. We have a marketplace; you could sell them for gold or something like that.
That actually would be pretty cool.
Other games do that. I don't know what to say.
Oh, are you talking about a certain game that BDO or something like that?
BDM, technically, but yes. But yeah, so I have Black Bolt one away, and then Ultron for me is 1 away as well. I am 4 flaming burritos away from getting Ultron to G14. So.
Flaming burritos.
So, hey, real quick side question. Yeah. Now that I have Ultron at 5 stars, so I just need to redo DD2 again to get him at 7. How does that work?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's not so bad.
And if you want to like easy mode it, just get him to G12, and you can pretty much like auto battle through the whole thing.
Yeah, I would definitely take Ultron and G13. It was going to make
it's actually pretty fun to like. Oh yeah, you have to be G13. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to just like auto through it after you like struggle with it for so long.
Sure.
To like crawl through it, and then you just come through and you're like, oh here, let me just
Slam.
summon some Ultron ads, hit the play button, and then come back when there's like one thing left just to make sure he has his summon for the next.
Do I even need a tank?
Like, no, at that point, no, you don't.
Because Ultron can literally solo almost every node in there by himself.
100%.
Like I think there's like 1 or 2 nodes where like he fell short a little bit. I think it's the Miss Marvel node. I can't remember because it's been so long, but I literally like the day after I got him, I G13'd him, went on stream, and just literally every fight went like
I'm just so far
from
doing that. It sucks.
Yeah. But going on, continuing it with the love and hate it segment, we talk about one thing we love about the game, one thing we hate about the game. Dismal, what's one thing that you love about the game right now?
Don't you dare say community, or you're never coming back. You're dead to us.
I said it last time, so I gotta switch it up.
Ooh, spicy. Hot take.
I mean, we already talked about Blob, but I think Blob is
pretty
legit.
Okay,
so that's my favorite thing right now. His animations are really cool.
Dismal, do you know any spicy character releases that are coming out in the near future?
Oh my god, yes. Do you please drop the spice on us?
So yeah, Black Order is coming. I think I mean a lot of people know all this stuff, but Black Order is coming.
I don't know this stuff.
I heard that they're gonna release an Infinity Gauntlet version of Thanos.
Ooh,
yeah, but that's garbage though. I don't want to build another Thanos. Yeah, that's dumb. It should be you know what?
Dude, I want a full party of Thanoses.
No,
I'm kidding. I totally don't. I'm
Thanai.
Other characters or characters that have like different iterations should be skins. These should not be full other characters to like dump more time and resources into. That's garbage. They're making us spend more.
Yeah. Well, you can't really skin someone with like the strongest thing in the galaxy to like just click on and off because I don't think it's very accurate. So I don't disagree with him having an Infinity Gauntlet version where he's more powerful than the original version.
Should have came out when Endgame came out.
You're gonna have Thanos feed energy to Thanos, so your Thanos can Thanos, bro.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, and then stick Rocket in the corner, and you can auto through U6.
Yeah.
So Black Order's coming, and then they're doing the Black Widow movie tie-ins, which would be Taskmaster.
ooh.
And if you've seen
cool.
his character from the actual movie, he looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super excited about Taskmaster. Also,
Agreed.
I have no idea what they're gonna do in terms of tags and stuff like that, which is I think a little more fun.
Like, Taskmaster would probably be like what Hydra, villain, global.
Dude, what if they're not? What if like the whole Red Skull thing is prefacing the?
We probably didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Red Skull.
And I don't know that Taskmaster is going to be Hydra because he worked for Hydra, but he's a mercenary, right? Like,
yeah,
true.
I feel like he's
been with
more
Hydra for
mercenary.
definitely a merc. I guess I just think because he's been with Hydra for so long, even as a mercenary. I mean, he's been with Hydra in like every like comic book event that's existed with Taskmaster. But yeah he's definitely more merc. Merc is definitely the way to put him. I forgot that the tag even existed because mercenaries are relevant.
Yeah, but they left Hydra. I don't know how you say Grenadier, the French pronunciation.
Grenadier,
Grenadier, the Hydra grenade shooter guy. They left him like basically completely reworked. So I thought I was like, everyone thinks that he's gonna get the cyborg Ultimus thing where they like bring in another Hydra character and make his kit align with them and Crossbones and Winter Soldier or whatever. So that's possible. I think I could see that.
Interesting. That's gonna be fun.
Red Guardian is the other one too that like he's coming in, but who knows what they're gonna do with him. So
man, I'm getting shit on in the comments for saying Taskmaster be Hydra. Taskmaster was Hydra and Secret Empire. He was in Hydra for Spider-Woman coming out of her hibernation. He was Hydra for so many things. So shut up.
I mean, nerd. He trained Crossbones, so I could see him having synergy with Crossbones, but I don't see the Hydra tag.
But I mean, like,
I was wrong. I'm sorry.
You're not allowed to be wrong about comic book stuff, Dom. You're our guy.
You're the aficionado.
I'm kidding. But what if that means that they're gonna do something with the Mercenary Squad.
That's what that would be cool if they reworked the mercenaries for Taskmaster.
Yeah, that'd be rad. I didn't even realize
so I could use my 5 red Merc Soldier.
Yeah, I have a 6 red star Merc Sniper. It'll be great. So actually, I didn't realize that the guy who has the bow and arrow in the Black Widow trailer is Taskmaster. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was him. I was like,
Taskmaster
cool.
is probably one of the coolest villains. I think he has a big part right now in the Spider-Man arc.
Well, he's in
hired by Hydra is equal to Hydra.
He's I know in the game itself, like the Spider-Man game for PS4, you face against Taskmaster, and he's great. I really enjoyed those fights because essentially you can't use the same move against him because he learns your moves and he will counter it. So in the game itself, so it was a lot of fun to play. But anyway, moving on with that, because I actually didn't realize that we didn't talk about it in the recap, but I want to talk about real quick, just touch briefly on the Hydra rework that came out, and also the rumored Red Skull kit reveal that people had cloned Red Skull with Mr. Sinister and found out like some ridiculous kit levels or kit synergies with all these Hydra minis. So essentially, like what happens is like if you clone Red Skull, you find out that he's got all these passives on his specials, ultimates, whatever. But that if you have a full team of Hydra minions and Red Skull, he's essentially unkillable until you kill all of the Hydra minions, because he spawns with 8 charges, and if a Hydra minion dies, they're instantly revived with death proof, and also the Red Skull has 25% damage reduction per Hydra minion. So you have to kill all 8 Hydra minions in order to even touch Red Skull. So what do you guys think about that? That's kind of OP for war, right?
Sounds a little OP.
Is that going to stick? Is that going to stay?
It can't. It can't.
That's
I don't know.
That's the rework kit that's in the game files right now. So it's different than it was originally. But yeah.
Do you think that they even knew that existed, and now that that was kind of thrown out there, they're gonna maybe have to hit the drawing board on a fix for that?
Dude, if that's a war defense, Jesus Christ!
I mean, since they don't QA,
Black Bolt's
that might.
Be the one.
Well, yeah, that's it. They're making you buy Black Bolt. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm actually enticed about that. We don't know how Red Skull's going to get released. We don't know if he's a legendary character or anything like this. So it's going to be interesting to see in the coming weeks.
Oh, we forgot about the new power armor person. We forgot to bring up.
Oh yeah, Riri Williams.
Ironheart.
Don't know anything about Ironheart, but that's
cool.
She's
great. So for a minute, let me give you the quick lowdown, because apparently I'm like my knowledge of comics
factchecking.com
is questionable. Super smart kid. Tony Stark, after Secret Empire, everyone thinks he's dead, and she takes up the mantle of Iron Man, but she calls it Ironheart. Riri Williams, awesome character. I think it's really cool. The only thing is she's pretty much Vision with power armor, which is pretty.
Yeah, but she gets the synergies. Yeah. Well, that means you can put Vision on BKT or wherever you want them to be. Maybe with something else, but yeah.
Yeah, cool. Definitely. I would think it's better because I have BKT and Ward right now, and I would definitely rather have Vision with them for attacking instead of Thanos. So I think that's definitely a cool addition. That we needed a 5th actual power armor. I mean, we also still need a 5th Marauder too, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, someone said that this is that this most recent patch. They I don't remember who said this, but they're like, it might have been Full Metal saying that it's kind of like a catch-up patch in a sense, because they were giving the 5th power armor person. They're kind of adding 2 people to a Brotherhood team since the Marauder team broke up the Brotherhood team. They're trying to fix the Hydra thing. They're trying to bring out Red Skull, who's kind of been in the back of the game
forever since I started.
Yeah, and so it's kind of it feels like they were just trying to they had all this stuff maybe ready to go, or they're just trying to do stuff to appease the Fix MSF movement. And I don't know. Desmond, what do you think about that?
I mean, they have stuff planned out a lot more than people give them credit for.
Sure. Really? Yeah, sure.
They're months and months ahead of time, so I don't agree that they're like characters or reactionary in any sense. Like we've been rumoring about the Ironheart and Red Skull, Red Guardian, like all these people since like November. So they're way ahead of their plans in terms of what's going to get released. It's not like exactly what patch is coming when, but I think, like to say that they did it in response is probably inaccurate.
Yeah.
But people don't give them enough credit for actually being organized in that sense, but they are. There's just other aspects they forget to do that in, but
or they don't have time for. So
yeah, right.
And speaking of real quick, touching on one other thing, the daily objectives. If you hit donate, you finally get 1 promotional credit, which I feel like it's fine. It'll take me a year to get 1 character to from 4 red stars to 5 red stars.
Yeah.
But,
really?
It's
I didn't
something.
realize that.
Yeah, whenever you hit donate and hit collect, that you get 1 promotional credit, which I think is good to have, just to kind of help progress and get people more promotional credits to use for things that they want on a daily basis. Still, I think it should be 2, because at least it doesn't take you a year to get 500 or 300 if you want, but it'll take you 6 months. But either way, it's still a good step in the right direction. And it's like, okay, we hear you about red stars, blah blah blah. Which I don't remember. Did they actually? I know we said on the 21st they were going to release something pertaining to red stars. Did they ever release something on the 21st? I don't remember.
They released it early, and it was the percentage adjustments. Okay. They also have, in the back side of the game, adjusted the drop rates, so the 4-star drop rate is higher now. And also, I think the big win is they are increasing the new character drop rates from 10% to 15% when they come out. So like when Blob comes out, he's going to have a 15% increase chance instead of a 10%. So I think that's good, just on the amount of characters to start.
It'll be 15% more likely for me not to get it. So that's how it's been every single release cadence so far. But I'm not bitter whatsoever. No, and speaking of red stars, the increase. What did you guys pull for red stars this week?
Did I blow my load too early? And
I didn't get any.
I got a 6 red star Iron Fist.
That's cool. That works.
I haven't got anything in a bit. It's been a slow trickle here.
And I got 4 red star symbiote Spider-Man.
There you go. Okay.
Not bad. Right.
He's sitting at 3 red stars for me, and Cyclops is 4 red stars, but I don't have any funds right now to level either one of them up, unfortunately, because I've just been focusing on Sinister forever. Sinister's almost. I just got Sinister level 70, and he's about to get G13. So slowly but surely. But
there you go.
Dismal, did you pull any red stars this week?
I have not opened. I opened a couple red stars for Toad.
Are you holding out?
I'm holding for Red Skull. So.
True.
Oh, that's good. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, because that's going to be ridiculous in OP. So I didn't really pull anything good this week, with the exception of a 5 red star Storm. So now my X-Men team is 299K. I'm gonna spend the gold once the reset happens to get them over 300, because I don't have a full meta team that's over 300 yet.
What's the use case of Storm over Psylocke? Is there one?
Yes. So for defense, correct me if I'm wrong in this thinking, but for defense for X-Men, you would use Psylocke. I don't know why you would ever put X-Men on defense, but if you ever wanted to, put Psylocke on defense. But for attacking, I would take Storm over Psylocke.
Oh, bummer. I've been using Psylocke because I have her more geared and stuff than Storm. But
it's just the assists from Storm and the speed up from Storm is more effective, in my opinion, than the debuff transfer and the evades.
Got it.
So,
okay.
But that's just my thinking on it. So I don't know what you guys think.
And her Dispel does not work at all against Shield, and that's where she gets used mostly in War. So, right. And she also works on Brawlers better than I think anybody else on that team. So,
sure.
Yeah. So you can switch it over to Ms. Marvel and Brawlers and all that fun stuff. So, but that could work. Yeah. And then any war advice that you have for us, Dismal, or us plebes who are much lower in power are?
Yeah, I think the room adjacent buffs are more important now, security and engineering, based on which people in your alliance have which characters at G14. So like I said, Hela first round with her ultimate, if you put her in security, she's gonna wreck some people. So it's actually kind of fun to play that part of it, which is like assigning people to specific rooms based on who they get to G14. So that's cool. So I think those rooms are a little more important now than they were, where they're positioned and who's in them.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hadn't considered that, but yeah, that's the G14. I guess is making people strategize a little bit differently now that we have a new variable in the mix. I suppose, right?
Also, if you put G14 Hella in a room that's buffed adjacent to security, I won't fight her. So
that's the hot tip for everyone out there. If you're going against Dismal, make sure you put that shit in the adjacent room there, and he will not fight her.
Then you'll be good to go. And then continuing on with that, I guess with the war advice, do you have any team advice for people, us plebes as well?
I mean, I started building Hydra already because, like you said, I'm low on resources, so I haven't built Symbiote Spider-Man at all. And I just went because I was halfway on Hydra already. They were all like level 50 or whatever, so it felt like less of an investment. And we have no idea when Red Skull's coming, so I personally think he's going to be a raid. So I would imagine it's a week from Monday.
Yeah, you could that makes sense. You could slow trickle the pump up of Hydra until we get Red Skull, and by the time we get it, you'll probably have a nice team there.
Yeah, I'm going to get them to a point where they're very usable, and then I'll start saving, and so I can get him to usable, and then
boom.
Great. Well, I can't wait to face Panzerhulk Multiverse again because the dude has a 350k Hydra team.
Jesus Christ.
As of right now, I do not like facing that. We faced them twice in OG Alpha Flight and have lost twice, at least since I've been in. So it has not been a fun experience, to say the least.
I like that the name of your alliance has OG in it.
Well, it's OG Alpha is or Alpha Flight is a team, right? In the comic.
Yeah. They protect Earth from extraterrestrial stuff. They have a big old space station and shit.
So that's what that comes from. And then as of right now, any new favorite characters in the game, Dismal?
I mean, I'm still on the Hella train. I think she's still my favorite, but
specifically G14 Hella, right?
Yeah. Blob. I mean, that's the one. I think he's cool. I don't know if I'll unlock him right away, but he's pretty legit. He's a Blitz, right? Blitz release, I think.
Blitz release, yeah. So everyone get your auto Blitz character tunes, whatever.
You guys see that they're working on the Blitz sim right now?
Yeah. So what is that? So I've heard that rumor. Is that the thing where it's you can auto, like if you've completed a Blitz or if your team will win, you just hit auto and it wins? Yeah.
It's gonna basically sim the match without you playing it. So a full auto of what the two teams against each other would do. Okay. So yeah, you could click a button and it would give you instant results.
That would solve so many.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Screen time.
That would be amazing.
God. I don't know. I assume that they probably will do it at a slightly lower point rate if you pull.
I'd love to know how they plan on executing that. Yeah. Personally,
they're play testing it right now, so it's
the same
ready.
as the campaign auto, right? I mean,
yeah, yes. But I think you could blitz it. It basically would ensure that people that have bigger rosters will finish higher in new character blitzes, which kind of sucks, especially for free to play players. It's
honestly, I've given up on as a free to play player, I've given up on ever seeing anything that higher TCP players do, and I think that's just the way the game is. They're ahead of me, and they're gonna do better than me. That. Unfortunately, that's just that's why scalability is nice, because if we're all scaled to our level, we could all have a fighting chance. But also, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, good luck with that. But at least that's nice that they're at least trying to add something new to Blitz, so you're not Blitz on your phone, blah blah blah. Put your phone in your pocket, take it out if your phone's piping hot, and you're like, oh god, what's happened later on. So I personally welcome the auto Blitz. I think that's great. I think that'll help fix a lot of problems with people botting, maybe. But who knows? Maybe the bots will adjust for the auto Blitz. Who knows? But I think that's a welcome.
I think the people that code the bots are better programmers than the people that work at
You're probably correct.
Dang, that was savage, dude.
You're not wrong.
Savage.
You're not
Truth
wrong.
hurts, man.
Tomorrow, all of Overachievers Gaming Podcast hosts have their accounts banned from Fox
I was
Next.
just gonna say, there goes Crondo's 6
Dude, rip. Yeah. Dude, we're done.
John Durr is
for.
logging in right now. Well, ChefCrondo gets the even worse RNG than he had before.
Right. We're talking about bad programming, Dick. You're never getting it worked
I'll
out
show
again.
you bad programming, bitch.
Yeah, F for respects in the chat, y'all.
100%. F for Crondo's roster. There we go. So moving on to our last topic of the question.
Incoming
Q&A.
6 Red Star Kingpin.
I already have one. Trust me, he's not that good.
6 Red Star Night Nurse.
And yeah. 6 Red Star Ravager Stitcher. There you go.
Actually, this guy's right. If I got I bet the next orb I open, I get a 7 Red Star Grenadier or whatever, however you want to
You're gonna
Grenadier.
Grenada.
Grenadier. Anyway, so what do we have for questions in the Q&A section for today?
There wasn't too many like
formal questions.
It was just like a bunch of random
All right,
stuff.
so then
I want to mention I know one question that stood out was someone said something about Netmarble and how they're going to come out with a new game today, and that's going to be Realm of Champions, and it's made by Kabam. That was a big thing that Seaton did a video on yesterday, and essentially he was talking about how Netmarble came out with a quarterly report on their earnings. And the thing that kills me is they own a lot of games, right? And Contest comprises 17% of their revenue.
Wow.
It was like double other games that are huge on the market. And the one thing that was the big point about their review that raised brows is the fact that they slated Realm of Champions as a release in July, and they haven't done any new info on it. So that was like a really, they haven't done any marketing. They haven't shown any gameplay footage. They just came out at New York Comic Con last year and said, hey, we're creating a game called Realm of Champions, and nobody knows like what it's actually about. But apparently Kabam is realigning the storyline in Contest of Champions to go directly in line with what Realm of Champions storyline is going to be about. So nobody really knows whether or not they're going to try to like bring people over from that and make that like an overflow game. Like there's a lot of speculation about what that's going to be. And then somewhere I read that like they're about to make an official release for Super War as well coming soon.
Yeah, true. Looks like we do have an official question. Why do we think that why did Fox Next think Mega Orbs were a good reward for D3? Well, none of us work at Fox Next, so I don't think we give an official answer, but it's a good question. Why do they think?
I haven't opened a Mega Orb in like probably 8 months.
Yeah, remember when Mega Orbs were great? They were great. Not anymore.
I think I have like 13 or something. It's not like an impressive number, but
English, Ashley, do you speak it? Not right now. I'm currently dying.
Yeah, just slightly under the weather for that. So, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels like old code left over when Mega Orbs used to be worth something back when we had 70 characters in the game.
I used to love opening Mega Orbs.
Mega Orbs are great. Remember when we had, the Captain Marvel event when you had the daily calendar or whatever, or the milestones, and you get Mega Orbs all the time? Yeah. That was great. I wish they would bring that back, because then it actually makes you want to, because buy it. When you have these offers of Mega Orbs for like $25 for 1.3 Mega Orbs, it doesn't really make me like, I was like, why would you even have this in the game? Because it's like, it's not even, it's worthless, to be completely honest. Like, there's really nothing in there that's even worth opening. But
hella.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but you're still at what? There's the
very low percentage chance.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sitting on 300 plus milestone orbs right now, because I'm hoping that Symbiote Spider-Man goes into the milestone orbs when he gets calendars done. So that way I can
keep a single orb unopened. It's just not possible for me.
No.
Yeah, I currently have like over 500 orbs on my account ready to go.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, make sure you stream those openings and record it. And
I recorded my 6-star Iron Fist, and then I had like an absolute hell week. So I still plan on posting it. I just my teeth.
But either way, I mean, people are saying they're getting like the the premier character shards of like Hela and Colossus and all that sort of stuff. But still, it's just a very low chance of you guys getting it. So that is, unfortunately, that's the case, but it is what it is. So, well, I think that's going to wrap us up today. I got to go run and meet contractors for my house. So Dismal, thank you very much for being a part of the podcast again. And if you guys haven't already, please go check out the Pants of Hulk Removed Discord. I'll put a link in the description below, as well as the Fix MSF Movement Discord also will be in a link description below. Any other words you want to say to everyone listening or watching live right now?
I got not a whole lot. Nothing, no wisdom from me.
The last thing I got to give with you is it was requested that you get your sexy ass on camera next time. So I think you got to get the people what they want.
Stop buying Foxnext CEO of Mercedes-Benz and get yourself a new camera.
I mean, I haven't spent on the game in a while.
Dude, I'm kidding.
Yeah, now I will have to say that not spending any money on the game in 3 months has made me really enjoy not playing the game, because now I don't feel tethered to it.
Yeah, right.
It's very freeing. So thank you, Foxnext, for letting me spend money on Amazon instead, because now I got to buy a whole bunch of shit for my house.
True.
So,
very true.
That's what it is. So,
RL problems.
Well, there's another channel in the Fix MSF Discord that's like redirected spending or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I'll have to post a picture of me with my house.
Hey boys, I'm
gonna
have to throw myself a celebration today because I didn't drop an F-bomb.
It's true.
Yeah,
I did the only F word, so it was because of my cat. So
that was before stream.
I'm gonna get rid of my cat.
That was before we started. Dismal threw the only F, but that's okay because we're still PG-13.
It's true. We are still
PG-13.
Just one.
Still PG-13. But anyway, thank you guys very much again for coming out and being a part. Everyone who's watching live. If you want to watch live, you can watch us live. Record this on Sundays, typically. Whenever we'll throw it in the content creator stuff for all the Discords and everything. And that's twitch.tv/OG podcast. You can find us on Instagram at OG.podcast. Our Twitter is OverachieversP. Our website is beingoverachiever.com, where you can get this episode and every other episode where we talk about cat bods, dad bods, chef bods, dismal bods, bash bods,
burping,
kind of
coughing,
coughing, and F bombs whenever we have. So F in the chat for
my account
for chef
for calling out the Fox.
For some reason, I think Crondo's gonna miss the Hela calendar. They're just gonna
right, exactly.
100% gonna miss the Hela calendar. He's gonna log in.
Funny.
It's just gonna be Shield Trooper the entire way through.
That's all Wolverine.
Kingpin. It'll be Kingpin or
Kingpin
Stitcher.
and Wolverine.
Dude,
I got a special calendar. It'll read on the top like ChefCrondo's personal calendar.
Code this calendar.
Code this shit.
Perfect.
Oh, so
and
good.
on that
Anyway,
note,
thank you all for coming out. We'll catch
Thanks,
you
everyone.
guys in 2 weeks. Peace.
Peace.